Hello friends, and welcome back to Vlogmas day 3. My self-tan turned out horrible. So bad. I think that I was so distracted in yesterday's vlog trying to make sure that I wouldn't flash you guys. I wasn't even paying attention to where I tanned, and I am so streaky. And look, oh my god, in between my fingers, I'm really exposing myself right now. And my face, I also did not do properly. I really shouldn't have been talking to the camera as I was doing that. But I'm not gonna apologize for what I look like, because what is the point? What is the point? This is just how I am today. But I did tell you I would show you how the tan turned out, and it turned out really badly. But we're not gonna beat ourselves up about it, because what is the flipping point? So for this episode of Vlogmas, we are just going to be doing a classic what I eat in a day video. First things first, we are going to be making some breakfast. When I did wake up this morning, oh my god, I literally, I can't get over how bad this tan looks. When I got up this morning, I ripped off a piece of this baguette and just ate it because I was so hungry, but I didn't have my camera on me. So pretend I munched a baguette and that it was really good. But yes, now it is time for breakfast, and we are also gonna be making a matcha latte together. And I have changed how I make my matcha lattes because now we have a milk frother. So let's do that first. I'm gonna put a little bit of water to boil. There we go. Okay, so first things first, I'm just gonna add around a teaspoon of matcha into my little mug. And matcha is actually just, it's so potent. And I remember when I first used it, I put in like a tablespoon of matcha. It was not a good idea. It didn't taste very good. To break down the matcha clumps, I'm just gonna add in a bit of hot water. I'm gonna give it a good mix and just sort of crush like the clumps against the glass. And then I'm gonna add my sweetener. And this is just some agave syrup. I like mine sweet-ish, so adjust accordingly, my friends. Now, taking our handy dandy Nespresso milk frother steamer thing, I'm gonna add some of this oat milk barista blend. Oh my god, try to not splash it in my face. And now we froth. This is just, it's so satisfying to me seeing the foam at the top. Oh my goodness. And there we go, a beautiful matcha latte. Oh my god. Let's try it out. Anyway, let's make some breakfast. So I realized that the only thing that really sounds good to me right now is a grilled cheese for breakfast, and there's nothing wrong with that. Don't let anybody make you feel bad for having grilled cheese for breakfast. So I just have this like sourdough loaf, Kraft singles, and we're gonna make some breakfast. First things first, we are going to add some butter into our pan. Just let it get nice and melted in there. And then I'm just gonna put a slice of bread and sort of just get it coated in that delicious butter. And now let's add these bad boys on there. And now we wait for the magic to happen. Time to flip. This smells so good. There is nothing as beautiful as a grilled cheese. And grilled cheese for breakfast, seriously, just, it hits different. So we have our grilled cheese over here and my matcha latte. Quite a combination if you ask me. Oh my god. It is literally so bloody good. Wow. The butter, the cheese, the bread, literally like 3 of my favorite things. I know I baked in yesterday's vlog, but my lemon loaf, I wasn't able to resurrect it from the dead. I took it out when it was raw in the middle, and it didn't matter how long I kept it in the oven. There was just something chemically, I don't know, went wrong with it. That's the excuse that I'm using. So unfortunately, I did have to compost most of it because I'm not gonna eat raw lemon loaf. So we might bake something else today. I think my mother-in-law is coming over tomorrow, and I know that she really likes like chocolate and things like that. So maybe I will make her some like chocolate chip cookies or something. But anyway, we will see where the day takes us. Hello, so the dogs are eating, and right now I figured that we would just make some double chocolate, triple chocolate. cookies together. I feel like this Vlogmas is gonna be full of cooking and baking and things like that. So if you like that stuff, then this is definitely the channel for you. I just got off the phone with my mother-in-law because we are currently trying to get our ish together for the holidays because we have different nuclear families and different Christmases on, you know, both sides of the family. So I think I mentioned in one vlog already, but we are doing around 5 different Christmases. So it is a lot. It's also hard to sort of plan Vlogmas around that as well, but we're gonna try to make it work. Fingers crossed, we've got this. But if anybody else is feeling really stressed right now, so am I, and baking is something that I like to do that sort of just helps me de-stress. So today, let's bake. So these cookies are the cookies that I have received the most compliments on. So I've linked the recipe in the description down below. I love adding white chocolate into them, but I do not have white chocolate, so we are just going with the flow. Completely honest, one of the biggest changes that I realized in my recovery is how flexible I am when it comes to food. If I don't like something, it's not the end of the world. If I don't have the right ingredient, it's also not the end of the world. Before, when I encountered certain foods, for me, they had to be perfect. So if I was eating a cookie, for example, I wanted it to be the best damn cookie of my life, and I would be so upset if it wasn't what I had anticipated or not as good as I thought it was. But now I just realized that things can't be perfect, that food doesn't need to be perfect, and that I have a lot of freedom and choice, because before, zero freedom. Anyway. First things first, we are gonna melt 1 cup of butter. I think I'm also gonna bring some of these cookies to my neighbors because they are so sweet. And again, my love language is just, it's giving people food, making things for people, all that good kind of stuff. Let's add our butter. Then we're gonna add our sugar. And then we're also gonna add in some brown sugar. Also, this is something that I've definitely mentioned in the past, but I kind of just wanted to reiterate that in all of my what I eat in a day videos and in all of my what I eat in a week videos, I never show you the exact amounts that I eat or the portions or anything like that. I know sometimes I show you the plates, but I never show when I go for seconds or thirds. I never show if I finish my plate or if I don't. I just think that it's unhelpful, and my goal with these videos is always just to promote food freedom, variety, intuition, and also that it's possible to have a wonderful relationship with food post eating disorder. Some days recovery is also hard for me, and filming these videos is also a way for me to remind myself how far I've come, and also that food doesn't have to be this big scary thing. I'm also gonna add in 2 eggs, and continuing on with the reasoning why I film these videos. When I was at the height of my eating disorder, I watched what I eat in a day videos all the time, and they definitely just enabled my eating disorder. And I never saw anybody who had a good relationship with food. And there are still accounts. I can name drop so many accounts, but I don't, because I definitely don't want to send any negativity to their page. But I see people who are promoting intuitive eating or food freedom, but they're still using labels such as healthy or unhealthy or junk. And for me, complete food freedom is removing all of those labels and not putting food into any specific category. That's the tea for today. But it definitely makes me really upset because I see these creators and they have huge platforms, almost millions of people watching them, or at least hundreds of thousands of people. They're just giving a really false image of what intuitive eating actually is and what food freedom actually looks like. Because if we participate in food freedom, we really shouldn't be labeling foods left and right. And I think the thing that really irks me the most, also, I'm sorry, I feel like this is kind of turning into like a vent session, but the thing that really bugs me is when people say, you know, this is a source of healthy carbs or a source of healthy fat or a source of healthy protein. Why do we have to put the word healthy there? Why can't you just say, I really like to get, you know, my fat from this, or, you know, this is a delicious way to incorporate some extra protein into your meal. Like, I just don't understand why we need to label things all the time. Anyway, I don't know if anybody else can relate or has the same feelings as me, but maybe it's because I'm so involved and because I, you know, overthink things a little bit too much, but it just doesn't sit right with me. We're gonna add in some vanilla extract, which is my favorite thing to just like sniff. Smells so good. I remember when I was a kid, I thought that it would taste really good also because it smelled delicious. Here's to all the kids who tried to drink vanilla extract as children. It did not taste good, and I think we have learned our lesson. We have our beautiful wet ingredients over here, and now we're gonna take another bowl to mix up our dry ingredients.
In the living room, I'ma take this ride. To get away from you is like the same track on repeat. No matter what, you never get what you need. Anything I do.
Here's the beautiful dough, and we're just going to pop it in the fridge for around 10 to 15 minutes, and then we will cook up our cookies.
If only I could have saved us before we crashed. Got caught up under these waves, so now it's trapped. Never thought we'd see the end, but I understand.
Hi friends, so the cookies just came out. Let me show you them. Oh my goodness. And I was just eating the cookie dough with a spoon because it is so good. But we will also have a cookie together because why not? This is going to be absolutely delicious. That did not break the way I wanted it to. If you want to pause the video and go get yourself a cookie or something to have with me, then please do that. But cheers. That is seriously the best cookie that I've had in a really long time. Did I have chocolate cookies and cookie dough for lunch today? Yes. Do I feel guilty about it? Absolutely not. That's what life looks like sometimes. Before I was just watching TikToks and eating cookie dough and having a good time, and that's okay. Not every meal needs to be balanced. And I think for dinner, I might actually order something so we can look at our options together, and we'll do like a very mini mukbang. Not like a huge mukbang, but just we'll chat, we'll eat dinner together, and yeah, I think it'll be just a good time. I promise you, these will be the best cookies that you will ever make. Hello friends, it is a little bit later. The dogs are here. Hey. He's just sniffing me. You wanna say hi? Do you wanna say hi? No? What do you want? What do you want? Just wanna be rubbed. And there's my other handsome boy, huh? Hello. Hello. Tabasco's being a little bit of an attention whore, huh? Anyway, I just ordered a bunch of Indian food, so I'm gonna show you everything when it gets here. And then after, I think I have a date with that bad boy to just relax and veg out for the rest of the night. I really wanna watch a horror movie tonight because, I don't know, I love being spooked. I love that. Not when I'm home alone, but Andrew's back home. So I will spook myself tonight. Yeah, the food should be here in around an hour, so I will show you when it gets here. Okay, friends, so the Indian food just arrived and I got too much, but that's okay. I kind of wanted to try a couple of things. So let me show you everything that I got, a little like food unboxing. The first thing that I got is a mango lassi, which I freaking love. These are so good. If you've never had one before, it's basically just like a thick mango drink. That's the extent of my knowledge on it. It's so good. If you love mango, you will really like this. I got some naan bread. This is the dish that I have no idea what it is. So let me pull up what it's called first. So this is called aloo tikki. Ooh. Oh my God, that smells so good. It looks like it's just a delicious chickpea dish. It looks like there might be potatoes or something in there as well. Or meat? I'm not really sure what this is, but it definitely has like a spicy kick to it afterwards. Really, really good. I also picked up some vegetarian samosas, and it came with these two sauces, one of these green sauces and then a sort of brownish reddish sauce. They smell so good. I love samosas, especially the vegetarian ones, so let's try that as well. So I'm going to put a little bit of this red sauce on my plate, or actually maybe I'll just, yeah, dip it straight in. I've never done any kind of mukbang video before. I'm not sure if people would even want to see them. I think mukbangs in general, the way that they're displayed on YouTube, are very problematic. So mine would not be like that, but it would be more of like an eat with me, I guess. But here's a samosa. Let's try the red sauce first. It's pretty mild. I feel like it's just like a sweet sauce. Now I'm going to try the green sauce. That one is so tangy and refreshing. I don't know what it is, but it's really, really good. And the last thing that I got, which is my favorite, is just some buttered chicken. And this also comes with some rice. So I'm gonna make a little plate and then we will chat, I will eat, and I will just answer a couple of questions. So I have my delicious plate here. It looks so freaking good. Some naan bread, some rice with some of that buttered chicken sauce, a couple pieces of buttered chicken, and also some of that aloo tikki. Is that what it was called? Yeah, aloo tikki. So again, we're not gonna chat for too long today. I promise that I'm going to be doing more chatty videos in the future, and we're also gonna be doing some juicy Q&A soon. I'm also gonna try to keep the questions a little bit lighter. So I'm just gonna open Instagram and see some of the questions that you guys asked. So one person asked how our dogs get along and whether or not they get along completely. And I think that that's a really good question, because we had Harley for a while before getting Tabasco, and the transition was definitely really, really hard. For the first 2 years, the dogs got along really, really great. They were kind of best friends. They would snuggle all the time. And then when Tabasco turned 2, he tried to, I guess, challenge Harley to be the alpha in the house. That was a pretty freaky time because Tabasco is a huge dog, and so they had a couple of fights and a little bit of, you know, bickering back and forth. But now they get along fairly well. Tabasco sometimes is mildly unpredictable. However, we are taking him to a trainer in the new year just to work on some of his like resource guarding, because he tends to guard his food or guard water or guard toys and things like that. And it's a behavior that we really want to nip in the bud. I love butter chicken. But otherwise, they are really, really great. And it is something that we're working on. Our dogs are our entire life. If you haven't seen like all of the art around our house, it's just dogs everywhere. I'll have to show you in another vlog like all of the photos that we have on all of our walls, because we've got a lot. But our dogs are also polar opposites from each other. So Harley doesn't like other dogs and Tabasco typically does. Harley doesn't like the cold and Tabasco loves it. Harley is very snuggly and he is very dependent on others, where Tabasco is super independent. So they're very, very different, but we love them both equally. Somebody asked what I wanted to be growing up, and honestly, I wanted to do YouTube. So I'm really, really happy that I'm doing this now. I probably wanted to start YouTube when I was like 14 years old. I should have started sooner, but I didn't. But besides that, I went through this phase where I wanted to be a marine biologist. I swear to God, every single one of my friends wanted to be a marine biologist at some point. I don't know who gave us the idea that this was like a career that many people seek. Like I don't know anybody who's a marine biologist personally. But besides that, I think for the longest time, I wanted to be an English teacher because I love writing. But I think like my biggest dream or aspiration was to be an author or a published writer. And that is something that I'm still working towards. I received hundreds of questions about food guilt and, you know, how to navigate the holidays and everything like that. I promise you that all of those questions are going to be addressed in a later vlog. I'm probably gonna make an entire video dedicated to food guilt, and also another video on like how to navigate negative comments about your body or comments about your body in general from family members or friends. So if you asked any questions like that, which to be honest, I think are the majority, just know that that definitely will be spoken about and addressed in this Vlogmas season. Somebody asked how to be more confident in the bedroom, right? When it comes to sex and things like that, or just intimacy. And again, I know I keep saying I'm gonna make an entire video about it, but I definitely want to. I think intimacy and recovery is such a huge topic, and one that I see a lot of people shy away from. And I don't really want anything to be taboo on my channel by any means. I want us to be able to talk about, you know, things that are important, and for many of us, intimacy and sex are really important, or at least part of our life. The first thing that I want to say is that you should never be with an individual who ever makes you feel unattractive in your body, or whoever comments on your body negatively. The reason why we can potentially struggle if we have gained weight, or if our body is changing, or whatever it might be, isn't because of the actual changes that are going on in our body. You're not struggling with intimacy because you have gained weight. You're not struggling with intimacy because of something about your body. The struggle is how you are actually perceiving yourself or perceiving weight gain. So the most important piece of advice that I can give you is to reframe how you view weight gain. So if you view it as a negative thing, or as a bad thing, that would be something for you to explore and something for you to actually get to the root of. Because when people are afraid of weight gain, it's never actually weight gain that they are afraid of. People are afraid that they won't be accepted. People are afraid that they won't be attractive. People have some kind of fear. And so really pinpoint what that fear is and work through it. So if it comes down to not being accepted, for example, I don't want anybody in my life to accept me conditionally. So what I mean by that is if I gain weight, I don't want the people in my life to no longer love me or no longer find me attractive. Because the people who are in my life love me for me and not for this sort of exterior shell, which is going to change as the years continue to go on and as we age and stretch and change and things like that. So find out what that fear is and give yourself reassurance, because right now I'm sure you are being your worst enemy. You're talking to yourself negatively, and we really want to shift the way that we speak to ourselves. Somebody asked, what is one thing you do that helps you get out of a mental rut? And a couple of things. The first thing is I let myself cry it out. I've mentioned this before on my channel, but I am a very emotional person. Some people would say too emotional, but I would disagree with them. For every emotion, I cry. And so I think letting it out and not holding anything back is super important. Something else I like to do is change the scenery. So if I've been in my office all day, I get out, I get outside, I go downstairs, I just change the environment. And when I'm feeling really stuck mentally, or when I'm, you know, saying cruel things to myself or whatever it might be, or if I just feel exhausted, I just like to do things that bring me joy. Even if they're really small, you know, like getting one of your favorite drinks from one of your favorite places, or if it's something a bit bigger, like treating yourself to getting your nails done, your hair done. I also really like to just dance in my bathroom and sing along to Taylor Swift. I love the 10-minute version of All Too Well. I think I listen to it at least like 6 times a week. But the last question for today is, if I could go back in time, would I change anything about my life? I think that the simplest answer I can give you is no, and that's because every single decision that I've ever made in my life, whether it was a bad decision, whether I made a mistake, whether I failed at something, it has led me to here. And even like I said at the beginning of this sort of mukbang meal, you know, saying that I wish I would have started YouTube earlier, part of me does because of how much joy I get from it now. But I also don't know if I would still have had this sort of community and this sort of joy if I had started it back when I was 14. Maybe it would have been a totally different experience than what I'm living right now. I don't want to live my life regretting anything. And that is something that I also apply to my past. I've made mistakes. I wasn't always a super nice person, especially when I was very, very low. You know, in high school, I don't think that I was nice to everybody that I could have been nice to. I've definitely been snappy at people or irritable, and part of me regrets that, regrets pushing people away and losing friendships. But at the same time, I wouldn't be the same person with the same sort of perspective that I have on the world without those experiences. And I think we can play that game all day of things that we would change or decisions that we would make differently, or, you know, oh, I wish I didn't say that specific thing yesterday or whatever it might be. But we can't be made of perfect moments. That's just not life. Life doesn't work that way. And I think the most beautiful thing about human beings is just how imperfect we are. Nobody in this world is perfect, not one person. And so when we strive for perfection, what are we actually striving for? Something that doesn't exist. So I kind of went on a little bit of a tangent. I don't even know if I actually responded to the question itself, but yeah, I don't think I would change anything about my life. Anyway, I'm going to finish this delicious meal. It is literally so good. I know I say that for a lot of the food that I eat, but I eat food that I like. If you like videos like this, make sure to give me a thumbs up and leave me a kind comment down below. But I think that that is it for our 3rd day of Vlogmas. We've made it 3 days so far, yay! And as usual, if you have any requests, make sure that you leave them down below in the comments. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and I really hope to see you in my next one. Bye friends.